to myself again. But it's the only way you're ever gonna learn. You look back and it's all in the past. I'm dwelling on the thoughts I cannot say to you. If I don't say the words, then maybe it's not true. And it feels alright when they come and say to you.
Good evening, welcome to NUFC Matters Friday night, the three amigos. A slightly shorter show tonight because George has got to go and oil his rattle. Steve's got to go and get his hair done, and Mitch has got to iron his budgie smugglers. Keith will be joining us at some point. He is, God knows where he is. You know what Keith's like on a Friday night.
Just hyper man at the minute.
He's hyper, but he is joining us. He says he'll definitely be here for the lookalikes. So at least that's all we need to know. But yeah, slightly earlier finish tonight. I'm going out, so we've got to finish slightly earlier. Tomorrow I will have a live show in the morning, 10:30 with Ben Jacobs, in case I forget. Sunday, I've pre-recorded a show. I've done the press conference show for Sunday morning. I'll put it out at 10 o'clock in the morning. And I interviewed Nick Dunn, who's a big Manchester United fan who lives in Ashington. I've had him on the show before. Big name, former serviceman. You've probably read his book, those of you who are interested in that kind of thing. But he gives us a very good analysis of Manchester United, who we should be, looking at, etc. And it's just a little bit of NUFC Matters on Cup Final Day for you because I didn't want to let you guys down. Hopefully, I will be back Monday to do Monday night fans forum. Trains permitting. That's the not the hangover permitting, trains permitting. So I should be back for that. I will set that for 6 o'clock. If I'm late, I'll have to put it back to slightly later, but there'll definitely be something on Monday night. Anyway, where do we start, lads? It's Cup Final weekend, George.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, I'm so excited, and I'm not even going, sadly. But no, it's got the same sort of feeling as it always has had for me, and I think that's very, very positive. And I've got to say, some of the stuff that I'm hearing from the opposition side, listening to Ten Hag's press conference today, describing us as an annoying team. That's brilliant. If we're so much under his skin that he thinks we're annoying, what's he going to tell his team? He's that's going to convey into the dressing room. So well done, Ten. I love that, being annoying or upsetting people is just what we Geordies like to do, and that our team's certainly going to do that to you, bunny lad. So it just incredible, and the rest of the stuff is so predictable and so like it was and I think I said the other night in the 50s. Some of the pundits are wondering why we're bothering going. Why not just give the cup to Manchester United? Well, sod off, lads. We're coming and we're going to win that cup. So get your excuses ready for afterwards, because that's what's going to happen. It exactly as it was in the 50s. When we were playing Blackpool, Stanley Matthews is going to tear it to pieces. Arsenal were the best team in the country. Were unlucky not to win the double, and we'll wallop them. And then 1955, we had so much turmoil in the club. We weren't going to get near Manchester City. The director sacked the manager before the cup final, and because Doug Livingston wouldn't play Jackie Milburn, so Seymour sacked him and put Milburn in the team. Well, guess what? We won that one as well, and I've got a feeling we're going to win this one too.
I got to ask you as well. I mean, a lot of people in the chat talking about it, but talks of Rashford being injured. He went off in the 88th minute.
Yeah.
And, I've got to be honest, I think it stinks. I think it's a bit of kidology. I do believe that Rashford's fully fit and ready to go. I think that was a bit of kidology, and I don't think Eddie Howe and the lads will be fooled by that.
I don't think anybody. Well, I'm certainly not. I discounted that when I heard it. Yes, he might have a twinge or something, but I suspect he was taken off for safety reasons more than anything else. And that Marcus Rashford will be as hot as he's been on Sunday.
I agree 100%. Steve, it's great, isn't it? It's almost like a throwback to Keegan and Alex Ferguson, but Eddie Howe doesn't wear his heart on his sleeve. He tells you straight. But we're not here to make friends. We're here to win stuff. And there was a picture circulating today, and I'm always very wary of photographs circulating. of it looked like a television screen which greets the players when you walk into training. And it basically says, we have gone 67 years without winning a domestic trophy. Now, if that is something that is on display anywhere in our football club, I think that's a stroke of genius. And again, that for me personally, if I was a Newcastle United player, that in itself would be enough for me to say, we're going to win this final on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. This is internal mind games, isn't it? And we know that Eddie Howe's been very much at the fore of everything that's been going on at the training ground over the last 18 months in terms of the posters up, the attitude of the players, the way that he's conducted himself, the way they've conducted themselves, and just great to see. And what I like about this week is that we're just quietly gone about our business. We haven't seen pictures of Eddie Howe having meals with ex-managers or anything like that, have we? You know, very, very quietly gone about it. So that's the way it should be. And what we're seeing from Ten Hag is the typical Fergie mind game. Yeah, goes out for a meal with Fergie and then he starts playing this. And if anything, I would say that what Ten Hag did yesterday in the 80th minute was try and run down the clock. What a surprise. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. I'm buoyant like everybody else for this. I mean, this is what my first, second, third. This might be my fourth cup final for Newcastle United. Going along, 3 disappointments. Let's hope that the mold's been broken now. With a squad who are very, very professional and as was said, quietly going about their business and are actually going into this cup final buoyant, full of confidence in the way that they play. Nothing to do with the opposition, just the way we've set our stall out all season. And I expect very, very similar. I thought last week against Liverpool, other than the first 15 minutes, I thought we played really, really well. I thought we're a better team. I thought with a little bit of luck and a fair wind, we might have got back into that game. 1 goal would have got us certainly back in, and it would have been a barnstorming finish. I thought we dominated Liverpool, and for that tells me that that's a squad of players who are really up for it, and they're going to turn up against Manchester United at Wembley on Sunday. Not as we've seen in previous times where we've either bottled it, not turned up, or been confronted with all sorts of situations going on behind the scenes that have upset us, whether it's from what suit to wear or where we buy the suits or who's paying for the suits or whatever it happens to be. This time it's tracksuits, it's professional. Let's get into them.
Yeah, 100%. Michael, yes, the professionals isn't on Sunday. I did give a full run through there on the start of the show if you missed it. But yeah, the professionals on Sunday, surprisingly, is cancelled. Mitch, yeah, mind games. It's started, hasn't it? And Ten Hag has really pushed the boat out, as have Man U with a leaked photograph of him and Sir Alex talking.
That rubbish mind games? If that's the best mind games they've got, that's shit. Dear me, is that the best? Is that really the best you've got? It's not even Ferguson light, is it? It's just pathetic. Everybody's seeing through it, and so yeah, bring it on. Let's have a bit more. I hope Howe's having a good little giggle to himself because he should be. That does nothing to faze me. Do you know what I watched today? I watched a 40-minute thing on NFL's YouTube channel called Mic'd Up, where they put mics on the players through the games, and it was the 2 teams for the Super Bowl, the Eagles and the Chiefs, mic'd up through the game. And Man United remind me, when I was listening to the Chiefs, listening to the Eagles going on, you could see throughout the whole team they just felt all they had to do was turn up. Even the players, not just the fans, all they had to do was turn up. And it's the same feeling I'm getting from us and Man U. The Man U fans out here are all going on like they've already won it. They're not even talking about the game the way they should, with a decent degree of respect. It's just about turning up. They're going to turn up and they're going to do. And this is the end of the trophy drought. 6 years. Don't make me laugh. 6 years is a trophy drought.
I keep hearing that as well. Yeah, I've heard a few Manchester United fans
yes,
saying that it's a joke, isn't it?
I mean, if that's a trophy drought, what are we? The bloody Rishat structure in the middle of the Sahara. I mean, dear Lord. But that seems to be the way it feels. And throughout that program, as the 40-minute goes on, they get to half time and they're leading, and they come out from half time and it's like, right, okay, we've just got to hold them here and we're going to be fine. And then you can see that confidence and cockiness drain second by second as the Chiefs start to find a way to win and start to turn it on, even though the quarterback's not 100%, and even though things aren't quite working out for them the way they wanted to. And I'd like to see the same from us. In fact, if I was Eddie Howe, I'd show them that.
Yeah.
And I'd say, this team in green is Man United and all their fans, and this is what they think. And pay attention to what happens and see how you can get into them. And we shouldn't need to motivate our players, but that television screen with the quotes on, Steve, apparently Howe was doing that from the day he come through the door, but with big bits of paper we're writing on.
Superb.
So he's had stuff like that around. He's got, unlike many managers, when he's walked through the door, he's got the essence of the culture of the club and what we want to see and what we needed to be doing. That's why he's been able to turn it around the way he has, and that's why he's able to keep the unity. Yeah. He's
also got the essence of the club that he wants.
That's
the important thing.
Yeah,
as the coach.
And so I think it would be. We just have to be mindful that the unity we've shown all this season, if we keep that together, and it's still there from the very top to the very bottom, ownership, management, players, fans, we're going to be scary at Wembley with that unity. And I think that the arrogance that's there from Man United is there to be used against them.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And for me as well, it was great to see War Flags hitting back with a wonderful tweet this week. Hashtag bring your scarf to the match. United versus Manchester. Wembley.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, just remember, we were the first United. And I've got to be honest, George, a lot of people in the chat have been bringing this up, and I'm really annoyed. And I think Geordie Toonfalaith is probably the main protagonist in our chat about that, emailing Sky and stuff. Well, it seems to have worked because Sky have now brought Newcastle United versus Manchester United in recent days. Have you noticed that?
Yes. And why not? I mean, it's an utter disgrace the way they've belittled us in favour of Manchester United or any other team for that matter. But the United thing is just so stupid. It's so easy to knock back. You know, it beggars belief that people would think like that in trying to exclude and belittle one team against the other. So yeah, I'm delighted to see that Sky's at least taking it on board because I'm sure they must have been getting tons of emails and stuff, social media at the headquarters about it, and well done. So it's not the first time. It's been like that for a while, and they do. But of course, yes, it's them. But the trouble is, all the trumpet makers, all the trumpet blowers on the telly as well, all the pundits that talk about it struggle to say Newcastle United in the same breath, and that doesn't help it either. But yeah, I'm glad they've done that on Sky. At least it shows that they've got a semblance of respectability. Because until the change that they hadn't, it really was so bad and so one-sided. It wasn't respectable. So at least that's happened.
Yeah. I mean, the United thing is always going to cause an issue, isn't it, Steve? With any fan base. I mean, Newcastle weren't the first United. I learned that this week, but yeah, we certainly United before Manchester United. And it was interesting to hear Alan Brazil on TalkSport. He corrected himself today because he went United at Manchester United. So clearly, there's been a memo gone out to a lot of these people who comment on the games, and he confirmed from his point of view. Steve,
it's disrespectful. That's what they've been for many years. They've been disrespectful to Newcastle United because that's the name of our football club. Our football club's not called Newcastle. Our city's called Newcastle. it's disrespect, and they have to be told, and these people have to be pinned down every single time. Sky, BBC, BT, the pundits, it's always been United, and it makes you sick, And I know they always use the excuse, well, we've got to differentiate between United and City. Well, just stick with Man United or Manchester United and Manchester City if that's the case, or but have some respect for all the other Uniteds, the West Ham Uniteds, the Southend Uniteds. Take it from one extreme to the other. Have respect to Sheffield, and Sheffield United, who are probably, I think, are the oldest United that are around. And it just boils me, at the sheer audacity of these people, because it's this aura that's built up around Man U. I'll call them that. I don't even call them United for the sake of this. It's this aura that's built up around them that gives them this sort of elevated sort of impression that they want to put out about their football club and about themselves, and that they're better than everything. And they've rammed it down our throats for about 30 years now, and it's time that it was shoved back down. And just really annoying. And Sky are one of the worst, and as you say, they've been pulled up on it, and somebody somewhere has just obviously said, enough's enough. We're gonna have to sort this out, lads. Let's be respectful. I'd like to think somebody from the club who did it, or some of our press guys who spend an awful lot of time on Sky TV and on Talk Sport and never ever pick up on it. I'd like to think some of them had grew some balls for once and actually stepped up, and we know who the protagonists are, who are on Talk Sport and on Sky TV all the time and never, ever bleat a single word about it. So good luck and well done to the fans who have got at them. Tune for life, the rest of them. I think
Alan Little, well done.
Alan Little, another one. Tom, and quite rightly, and well done. I'm proud of you for doing it.
Yeah, happy birthday, Ian Edgar, and welcome to the Pensioners Club, says Michael Clark. Hope you have a great weekend, mate. Topped off with, of course, the biggest birthday present you can get, which is a trophy in our cabinet. Yeah, Mitch, it's another bit of arrogance, isn't it? From the club as well. They don't do anything to stop it.
No, they don't, and I think Steve's hit the nail on the head. It's not just disrespectful to us; it's disrespectful to every team that has a United in its name. From us at the very top of the table to Hartlepool United and then outside of the Football League at the moment. Anybody who has United in their name should rightly get rankled by the disrespect of somebody taking that and using it to refer to themselves as if no other United exists. Well, they do. And again, if that isn't another reason to give the players a little bit extra fuel going onto the pitch, I don't know what is. They don't even respect our name. Now let's have them.
Alan Thompson says a relative of his works for Sky. He's been giving them hell over it. I haven't seen them change it yet, but I hope they have. Yes, Steve H. It boils my... Yeah, a lot of people get annoyed by it. It is the height of arrogance. It really is. But hopefully that is an end to that. As I said, we've got to cram a lot in tonight, and this is like a cup final special. We want to really focus on what is going on at Wembley this weekend. Scunny Mag, as you know, often does a lot of stuff for us with away days. So he's done a Wembley special. In fact, he's done a couple of Wembley specials. So I'm going to share them both with you. So if you bear with us, I will load part 2, because that's the longest one, so you can all see it. And it just gives you an idea of where to go in and around Wembley if you're going down on Sunday.
To cram in, so I'm going to go as fast as I can through this because I don't want to take up too much of the time. If there's any details that I've skipped over that you want to check, wait till the end of the live show and watch it back, and then you can pause it and get that information. Right, let's crack on. There are park and rides all around the city. Your best one for Wembley is Stanhope. For those coming by train, if you're going via central London, you'll tube out and you'll either be going to Wembley Park or Wembley Central. Central is good for fans for the west side of the stadium. Wembley Park's the main one that sits right at the top of Wembley Way, and that's served by the Jubilee and Metropolitan lines The Metropolitan will get you straight in from London King's Cross. It's also serviced by London Overground and the National Rail Network, so you can get a train directly there. Same with Wembley Central. That's also served by London Underground and National Rail. It sits on the Bakerloo line for underground services coming from the city. You've got a third option of Wembley Stadium, and that is just a National Rail station. No underground, no overground. Okay, so once you've got tubing, we've got quite a choice. A lot of them closer to the ground are only going to be offering a match ticket access, but let's fire through them. Number one is the Green Man. You don't actually need a match ticket to get into this one, but you do need to have pre-booked in advance. If you haven't, it's sold out, it's full to capacity. If you are heading to the Green Man, the postcode is Hotel Alpha 9 8 Delta Foxtrot, and your what 3 words is Tulip Every Party. Pub number 2, the Liquor Station. Your postcode is Hotel Alpha 9 6 Alpha Alpha, and your what 3 words is Pads Held Models. If you want to check if they're fully booked, their number is 020-8903-0159. Number 3 is JJ Moons, a Wetherspoons pub, Hotel Alpha 9 7 Delta Tango, and your phone number is 020-8903-4923, and your what 3 words is Quiet Boyle Metro. Pub number 4 is Masty. Your postcode is Hotel Alpha 0 2 Alpha Alpha, and your phone number is 020-878-2252. Your what 3 words tags give ends. Number 5, for anybody that's been before, a few years ago this was called Flannery's Bar. It's now called the Barrel and Corner. Your postcode for that is Hotel Alpha 0 2 Alpha Foxtrot. Your phone number is 020-89002947, and your what 3 words is Fortunate View Start. Number 6, the Corner House. This one's handy for people coming into Wembley Stadium Station. Your postcode is Hotel Alpha 9 6 Bravo Alpha. Your phone number 020-3784 2012, and your what 3 words is Half Chase Beams. Number 7 is the Holiday Inn. Your postcode is Hotel Alpha 9 8 Delta Sierra. Your phone number is 020-8902-8839, and your what 3 words is Jelly Skirt Race. Number 8, the St George Hotel, Hotel Alpha 9 8 Alpha Uniform. Telephone 020-8900-0662. And your what 3 words, Treat Leaps Brand. Number 9, the Ibis Hotel, Hotel Alpha 9 8 Bravo Alpha. Phone number 020-8453-5100. What 3 words, Blunt Asleep Send. Number 10, Best Western, Hotel Alpha 9 6 Alpha Yankee. Phone number 020-3879-1880. And your what 3 words is Hosts Salsa Press. Number 11 is your fan zone at Wembley. You definitely need match tickets for this, and you definitely need to have booked. Your what 3 words is Shed Grab Beans if you are heading there. Number 12, Box Park on Olympic Way, Hotel Alpha 9 0 Juliet Tango. Your phone number is 020-7186-8800, and your what 3 words is Spin Bonus Twig. But again, check that one because I know that was sold out pretty fast. A quick reminder for those of you that haven't got match tickets and are heading to the area, all the bars stop serving alcohol 1 hour before kickoff, and no bars within a mile of Wembley are allowed to show the football live. So you need to head out of the area and find somewhere that is. If you go to the London Magpie group on Facebook, they've got a few venues. There's a couple around King's Cross that are not taking bookings, they're only taking walk-ins. Failing that, find a pub near your hotel, check that they're showing the football. The Six Nations is on this weekend as a game when we're playing, so just make sure that they're showing the football and not the rugby, and you should be all right. Okay, thanks for listening, and I hope the next time I'm speaking to you we've won some silverware.
Great stuff from Scunny Mag as always, and we will have mate 100%. I just want to talk about.
I panicked when he said parking at the corner house. I thought, Christ, I've got to walk all the way from home.
Yeah, you're right, mate. It was a little bit of a concern. Just want to talk, George, a little bit about people selling tickets on, and this horrendous situation where we've seen a former, do I call him a player, Nile Ranger, again trying to sell tickets, at an inflated price online to Newcastle fans. It's bang out of order, George, isn't it? I mean, it's been a struggle for a lot of people getting tickets. A lot of people have missed out. It's caused a lot of situation over that. But when you see a former person who was registered as a player, I'm going to call him, because I call him a player, I think is a bit farcical. Selling tickets at an inflated price it's just a disgrace, George, isn't it? Really?
Well, it's unfortunately the person he is. It's predictable, and I've got to say, there's another wasted talent from that we had had with us. What a waste of talent! But what are the authorities doing about it? That's what bothers me. he should not be allowed to have tickets for any more matches. If they find a way where he's getting these tickets from, anybody associated with him should be banned from having any more tickets ever again. I mean, I thought I was seeing things when one of the things I seen, he was asking £1,000 for a basic price ticket. I mean, dear me, you know, there's one thing about doing it, but that's greed apart from anything else. But you know, it's what the bloke was like. It's what his trademark was even when he was here, and well, his trademark was what it was like when we brought him here from Southampton, because he came on after a brush with the law, a really serious brush with the law. But again, what a wasted talent. But I would just hope that the authorities try their best to find out where he's sourcing these tickets. And anybody that sold him a ticket, as well as him himself, should be banned from any future tickets.
Yeah, it's when it's so public, I guess, and I think, you know, selling tickets at an inflated price, Steve, that's the problem for me. I think you understand certain situations can change. You could have a death in the family, whatever, and you know you've got a ticket, you want to sell it, and you know, a £40 ticket, you sell it for £40, a £50 ticket, sell it for £50, you know, and that's fine for me personally. If there's a situation which develops, which is beyond your control, you've got an illness and you've been taken into hospital, there are going to be things, life gets in the way for people, we understand that. But this is a former player at Newcastle United who is going out on his social media channel and trying to profiteer on tickets that he's managed to get a hold of, and it's bang out of order.
Yeah, he was offering 100 tickets to Newcastle fans at £2,100. That's £210,000 that he was going to cream off out of pockets of Newcastle United fans for cup final tickets. The first question is, where does he got those tickets from?
Yeah.
And that's one for the Football League and for the authorities to have a look at. And secondly, anyone who would buy from someone with such a dubious character as he has would want a head examined. I mean, this is a bloke who, as George said, had a brush with the law before he even signed for us. He was done for stealing from his own football club, from his own colleagues at Southampton. You know, he's stealing kit and selling it to his mates, you know, picking it up off the dressing room floor and then selling it. That's the sort of kid he was. So and then it got worse. It got worse and worse. I mean, the funniest story I ever heard was of a delivery man who went to his house and knocked on the door. And as he opened the door to hand over the parcel, there was a life-size cardboard cutout of Nile Ranger at the top of the stairs. The next week when he went, half his clothes were in the garden, accompanied by a smashed up cardboard cutout of Nile Ranger after he'd had a domestic with his girlfriend who had chopped it up. I think she probably wanted to chop him up, actually. But I thought, you know what, that's the... Imagine... I mean, I know you have loads of cardboard cutouts of yourself in the house, Steve, life-size and bigger, you know, but or you've been accused of it anyway. But, you know, this is the sort of personality that you're dealing with, you know, the sort of ego. And then he went round and he did all the gangster stuff and he thought, I know of...
You offered me out for a fight at Nando's.
Well, yeah, I know of someone else. I know of a friend of mine who had a bit of a fight with him and his five mates who jumped on two people, five, you know, bottles flying all over the place, smashing bottles over people's heads, and then running away down the big market. That's the sort of character.
I'm sticking allegedly in there because there's two sides to the story, and he's not on to defend himself. So I will say that what he did with me was public. It was on social media, and it was there for everybody to see, and it created a hell of a debate because he was still a professional footballer, you know. And
this is the personality, but. Getting back to the very fact that he was wanting to exploit the situation, make money for himself, selling tickets, and as both you and George have said, you don't sell tickets over the odds for your own fans like that. It's just not the done thing. You know, anyone who's doing it, you know, really needs the head looking into, really needs the head wobbling, quite frankly. But he's just a horrible piece, isn't he? He's just a horrible piece. A kid who had the world at his feet. and threw it all away because of the lifestyle that he wanted to lead. And, let's face it, you don't want to be hanging around with people like that. You don't want to be associated with people like that. You don't want people like that associated with your football club. And I think he's done enough in his life since he left Newcastle United for it to have his record at Newcastle completely expunged.
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, I met him a few times. I always got on quite well with him. I mean, I was doing the doors back in the day, but ultimately, I just, big waste of a career for me, and certainly didn't do himself any favours on or off the pitch. Katie, I love this. Done a Scunny Mag directions for Trippier at 6:30 on Sunday. Walk up steps, shake hands, hug owners, pick up Carabao Cup, raise it above head. Go mental. I love that.
Brilliant.
And the what 3 words for that is away the lads.
Yeah, I mean this Nile Ranger thing just left a sour taste in the mouth, Mitch. Really, again, but it was no surprise to hear it was him doing it.
The whole ridiculousness of the ticketing situation is presented these opportunities for people wanting to take advantage of our fans. Our Joss has paid over the odds for a ticket, and I know he has. I'll not embarrass him by saying how much, but expecting a message if you hadn't had one, dear Grandad, that he might be a bit short of a couple of bob at the end of the month. But, and that's how desperate he was to get to the game. Stu and I were talking to somebody we know very well whose ticket hasn't arrived in the post. And I gather there's about 200 tickets plus have gone AWOL.
Yeah.
Absolutely AWOL. And a word of advice to anybody buying them from anywhere and they don't know the source, you might be paying £1,000 for a ticket that might now already be invalid and be picked up at the gate because the replacements, they've been told to turn up 12:30 with their ID and the proof of the email to the Wembley box office to get their replacement ticket. So you might be buying a ticket that's come to somebody from the wrong source, shall we say. Now, hang on a minute, wasn't Nile Ranger's interactions with the law regarding post office things, or am I putting 2 and 2 together and making mistakes? Probably am, really. But this is the kind of danger we've got because there's such a clamour for the demand. Even if you go and look at the ticketing sites, the difference between what we're being asked to pay for a ticket in the Newcastle end versus a ticket in the Man U end, it's almost double. Such as the clamour and the desire for us.
Sometimes more, Neil.
Yeah.
Even the corporate stuff. A few weeks ago, you could get corporate at Manchester United then for £600, and ours was nearly 3,000. Same seats, etc. But that was the difference. We've
got lads over here who jumped the gun and got the corporate tickets at the semi-final stage. And boy, are they grateful they did. They still paid, I think, around about the £500 mark, but they're delighted they got the tickets they got when they got them. And it's madness. It happens every final. I don't know if they'll ever find a proper solution because of the way the ticket allocations are, and bearing in mind this is the League Cup where the clubs get more tickets. If this was the FA Cup, we'd be short of another 5,000 to 6,000 each. And that's the difficulty. And it seems to come up every year. I guess the difference is we're involved now, and hopefully we're going to be involved in a lot more to come. And it's the flip side of the coin of success, is these things are always going to be hanging around and fueling. I mean, the amount he was looking to make off those tickets was just nothing short of scandalous.
Well, I can tell you, May Rinkton's team man, when he was asking me if I could help to get him a ticket, it was offering £600 at my front door.
Wow.
A
lot of keyboards, that, George.
It certainly is.
It's crazy. I mean, I've had a lot of people message me, text me, can you get us a ticket, this, that and the other, I'm willing to pay this and willing to pay that. And my text has been more or less copy and pasted and sent to the same person. I've got no tickets, but if I did, I'd sell it to you for cost price. And that's basically the way it should be for everybody. Anybody profiteering off a ticket for the cup final, it's, hang your head in shame is what I would say. Okay, slightly out of sync today. Tweet of the week, because I need to clear my system to bring in the various animals. Various animals, Steve. You know what's coming. Yeah, there was some cracking tweets this week. I couldn't use all Azara's. I'd already got quite a few myself. The Chronicle. This was a great headline. Roman sex toy found in fort on Hadrian's Wall in Northumberland.
Jeez.
Slow news week at the Chronicle. Anybody?
Yeah.
Have you read the article where they said we thought it was an item involved in the weaving industry? Do you not think any of those archaeologists pulled that out of the ground and went, "Well, that looks like a cock"? Because I would have.
I mean, 10 centimeters as well. I mean, over 10 centimeters. Quite impressive. But yeah, moving on swiftly. Heartfelt plea from Steve Bruce. 20 years ago, we had Johnny Cash, Bob Hope, and Steve Jobs. Now we have no cash, no hope, and no jobs. Please don't let Kevin Bacon die. Very good, Stephen. I like that one. Jimmy, do not buy Jordan shoes in a parking lot. Excellent, that, Jimmy. Very good. Here's Mo Salah. Refusing to leave the pitch because he still has a score to settle with Real Madrid.
That's really good, isn't it?
And this one, man suffers heart attack and dies at work as co-workers gather for group selfie thinking he'd fallen asleep. Definitely not real, that, but it was worth sticking out just for giggles. This one I got sent a couple of weeks ago and I forgot all about it. What can make a man run away like this? It's not run, it's ran, because it's past tense.
Right.
Oh God, clearly somebody with too much time on their hands. Say what you like about the Beatles, but they knew how to defend a free kick.
Wow.
And football funnies, Arsenal tickets home and away. Anyone got any red flares? I can't find any. I can meet you in Arsenal today at 4. Bri Young replied, "What size waist are you?" Breaking news, David Hasselhoff is changing his name to David Hoff. He said he can't be asked with a hassle.
Very funny, very good.
And Ian Hull, want to experience Sam Smith live but can't afford tickets? Simply choke your vacuum cleaner with a crisp packet and enjoy the show from the comfort of your own home. That's got a very Viz-like feel to it, that one, Ian. Modern day Viz. I like this one because of the photograph. Ian, cannot wait to be standing at one of these again, feeling the pressure because there's 3 folks behind you. You're sweating the cheap vodka out from the night before, sipping on a tiny wee glass of orange juice, sunburned and dying to get back to your table. Yeah, I think we've all had that kind of feeling, Ian, and definitely looking forward to that again at some point this year. I'll not read this one out, but it's self-explanatory. Gareth, I had a lot of this one sent to us from the Sunderland Global Media. He says, the Seagulls said, I found this whole event hard to swallow as I'm not that gullible. That was in response to the fact that a court case in the 18th of August 2022 saw a man actually force a seagull down and do some rather unsavoury things to it. Don't know how that ever missed this show. How we missed that after it being in the news for a year, I don't know. But I did Google it, and it's a good story. Simon Jordan, so Manchester United Football Club has a bid from a Qatari bidder. Where's the Munchkin de facto mayor of Manchester, Gary Neville, on this? Not hearing anything about workers' rights or inclusivity from the old town crier. All quiet on the socialist front. I did retweet that one for Simon. Lots of these flying around. This was the best one from Toon Pools. Amazing how much Karius has changed since his last competitive game in English football 5 years ago. Good luck to him next weekend. Yes, and this one. This Manchester United fan responded to, Jesus Christ, I've never seen something so embarrassing in all my life, to Toon Pools when he said, Blythe play tomorrow and Saturday. Rearrange a fixture for Wednesday night. Senior keepers all get muscle strains. Nick Pope on an emergency loan. Serves his 3-match suspension. Terminate the loan Saturday night. Job done. Why any Manchester United fan would have thought that was a genuine tweet? I really don't know. Clearly don't read Frank Chipper. Ian Hull, and you may find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile. And you may find yourself in a beautiful house with a beautiful wife. And you may ask yourself, Well, how did I get here? I thought that was excellent, Ian. That was brilliant. Really, really good. It took us about an hour to remember the song, but yeah, I got there in the end. Mark said, after watching Toon Talk today, I thought I'd pass on some helpful advice for Steve Hasty. No need to thank me. It's because I care. If you're a dog, if your dog licks his testicles and the testicles look normal, no problem. However, if the testicles are red and raw, you do need to investigate the cause and stop the cycle. A veterinarian's examination can help in determining if the scrotum and testicles are normal or not, Steve. Is that handy for you, Steve?
Yeah, the glow of them reminds me of a certain Mr. Patterson's head when he starts laughing.
We'll say that allegedly because he's not here to defend himself. London boxing history. This was brilliant. When I retired and went back on the tools, I was just known as Ken the Joiner. My work pals didn't know I was Ken Buchanan, the boxer, as I wore a cap, glasses and beard. One day I got asked for an autograph and one of the lads said, Jesus, Ken, you must be some joiner.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Oh,
what a boxer he was too.
He was.
Certainly was.
This was great.
Lovely man as well.
Positive Toon fans only. The new Alan Shearer statue in Hampton Court is ready for the big unveiling. Yep, that's brilliant. That it really is. It's got the same celebration and everything. As he didn't show my one from last week on 3 Amigos, sniff sniff. I try again, said Julie Baker. Dad jokes. It's a 5-minute walk from my house to the pub. It's a 30-minute walk from the pub to my house. The difference is staggering. Brilliant, Julie. And Julie sent this one as well. 2 tomatoes for sale, willing to swap a PlayStation 5. Serious offers only. I know what I've got here. in response to the shortage of fruit and veg this week, yeah. It was Pancake Day this week. Happy Pancake Day, everyone. Here's a picture of a tosser.
He gets some stick, doesn't he?
And I love this one. Dave's maintenance shop. We can repair anything. Please knock hard on the door because the bell doesn't work.
I love that. That's a good one.
And that is a genuine sign. This was good as well. How come I've literally only just found out that the first outbreak of cholera in Britain was in Sunderland? Mackham's, man. This one was brilliant, wasn't it? Alan Carlin. This is my dog, Rudy. Rudy is a little of a pup and thinks letters through the post are an invasion of the home. After coming back from watching Newcastle lose at home for the first time this season against Liverpool, conceding 2 goals and having the keeper sent off in the first half, Rudy thought he would give me a laugh by eating the Wembley tickets that were posted whilst I was out. Dog for sale, £5 on nearest offer. I don't
want the dog, right?
I'm pleased to say that Alan Carlin had a happy ending because the club did resend his tickets out, so he didn't lose out. Which is
our first cat was like that, wasn't she, Neil?
A couple of
through the door.
Well, worse. Well, I used to get lots of faxes from the Home Office, and if I wasn't in when they arrived, Fluffy just used to shred them. It was like they'd been through a shredding machine.
Brilliant. We've got a few cup final ones to finish off with. David Foster says Sunday isn't the final. Sunday is only the start.
Nice one. I like that.
That should be a tick, John. If you're watching, I know you've got your birthday celebrations for Mrs. Cutek today, but if you've got that should make a T-shirt, mate. That was brilliant.
A good one.
I love this. Northeast coach travel. We're all ready for the Carabao Cup final on Sunday. Hopefully, people will toot for the tune when they see the coach. Here's to those on the back. Just wonderful. Just a wonderful little thing on the back of a bus.
Well done.
Great bit of art. Wonderful. Last 3. Dan Byrne. I was saying to Longy, I kind of wish I was a fan at this point. I'd be going down on Friday with my mates, and on Sunday I'd be in the crowd chanting. You do think it would be class being a fan this weekend? It feels loads different being a player now. Some great interviews. If you haven't seen them, get yourself onto Newcastle United's YouTube. I haven't watched Trippier's today, but by all accounts, reading some of the comments, it was absolutely fantastic. But
I think they've been very shrewd on who they've picked to stick in front of the media as well.
Yeah.
And I think,
If you can't be bothered to watch them, I have done a program for Sunday morning. I'll give them a review on them, but they're absolutely brilliant. Well worth watching rather than listening to me jabber on. 100% Mags. This is to be tweet of the week, guys. Brilliant. Well done to everyone. Jen Bartram, of course, who does the weather at BBC. She went, raging. They vandalised my weather office at the BBC Look North with this beaky guy. So I'm pushing back by wearing my Sunderland top in defiance. SAFC, how are the lads? That is funny. Winner this week is this, Donald Gilbert's Butchers. This match on Sunday is for every person who's ever queued outside Greg's for a hot steak bake. For every lad and lass who's ever spread peas pudding across a stotty. For every old man who insists on a half glass with a bottle of Brune. For every millennium child who's only ever known mediocrity. For everyone who has taken a bite of a Savoy dip. For Anton Deck, for reruns of Auf Wiedersehen Pet, for the girls in town in shorts and t-shirts in December, and for every fan making the long trips from a 5-0 defeat and then doing it again the following week, for Alan Shearer, for Sir Bobby, for absent friends, for Bruno, for loyalty, all we ask is, do us proud, come on the tune. Brilliant, that.
Nice
so
one.
many great
Nice
messages, so many positive messages.
Yeah.
That is tweet of the week this week. So keep them coming in. Thanks to Zara as usual and everybody else who's contributed. We'll have more next week. All right, Scunny Mag did send us another little video, which I didn't play last week because it was Wembley and we wanted to do it this week. So here's his second video.
Hi guys, Paul here with your part 1 of 2 guide to the cup final. I'm going to do it this way just because it makes more sense. So basically part 1 is going to be for people who've been unfortunate and not got tickets to the final. So I hoped to get a load of information together on fan zones and this, that and the other that was going to be useful to people who are staying in Newcastle. Unfortunately, every time one popped up, it sold out straight away. That having been said, if you are staying in Newcastle, there are plenty of pubs still that will be showing the game. Get to your local, give them a call or pop in, find out if you need to book a table, plan in advance and enjoy the atmosphere if you can't get in anywhere, if you're not already booked in anywhere. Quick poll on the Chronicle the other night showed that of all the people asked, about 12% were planning to head down to London without tickets. Now, since the Euros, Brent Council and the police have come together and come up with some extra restrictions to make it as unwelcoming as possible. It's the best way to describe it for fans without tickets. The idea is that the fans without tickets get pushed away from the stadium so that the fans with tickets can move through freely, get access to the stadium quickly and efficiently. It increases safety and it's a pain. It's not nice for people who've gone down to experience the atmosphere. So basically there will be no shops or off licenses in the area allowed to sell alcohol. They've banned the sale of alcohol for an hour before kickoff, which pushes people out of the pubs. They've made sure that no pubs can show the game live within a mile of the ground, so you have to go away from the area to watch it, so that moves people away so that people can move into the ground more efficiently. All of the fan zones are ticket only with a match ticket, so one, you'll have to have a ticket for the fan zone, and 2, you'll have to have a match ticket. So basically, if you are going down to London for the atmosphere, your best option will be the Saturday night on the Trafalgar Square, where the plan is for fans to meet and have a bit of a pre-cup final weekend party. Have a great weekend. Plan ahead. If you are going down, just be aware of the restrictions so that it doesn't absolutely ruin your day and you finish up missing half the match. And if you're not going down, or if you're from outside of Newcastle and you're looking for the best atmosphere, it's probably better to head to Newcastle than it is to Wembley. It'll be a great atmosphere in the town. If we win, the whole city will be partying all night. For me, if I didn't have a ticket, that's where I'd be going. Okay, that's enough of me boring you. Back to Steve and the guys.
I do love his new graphic. Well done, Scunny Mag. He's been a massive addition, I've got to be honest, to the NUFC Matters community. And great lad. Thanks, Scunny Mag. Honestly, it's great to have that, and I know the fans love it. And we stuck the Wembley stuff up on the on the podcast channel just separately. So if you want to tune in, you can do. Okay, I've got an hour left. I'll ask you what you think your team's going to be, lads, for Sunday. So George, coming to you first, which means you draw the short straw. I'll take you through mine. I think he will go Karius in goal. I think he will go with Trippier, Shaw, Burn, and Botman and Burn. I think he'll go. I think the big decision he's got really is the midfield. He will bring Bruno back in. If Willock's fit, I think he'll play Willock and Longstaff. I think he'll play Miggy. I think he'll play ASM, and I think he'll go Wilson. That's my starting 11. That's what I think he'll do. What about you?
Me too. Yeah, I mean, you've taken the words out of my mouth. I wouldn't be doing anything other than that. And his record is to stick to the tried and tested, and Willock's the tried and tested, isn't he? So he comes back, and everybody is anticipating it. It would be madness not to say Bruno on that field. So yeah, Bruno's going to walk back into it. All he's got to do is decide which way he shuffles them around, and the 11 you've just trotted out would be the 11 I would have trotted out, Steve. I wouldn't have gone any different. I mean, we haven't got the luxury of even thinking about Gordon because he's cup tied and all that sort of thing. So no, stick to the tried and tested, and that's what we've got. And the likelihood is it'll pay its dividend, it'll pay its reward, because the whole lot they'll all be absolutely up for it.
Okay, Steve, what about you?
You missed Joe Linton out.
Oh, Joe Linton. Yeah.
Sorry,
Put Joe Linton in instead of ASM.
Yes.
I was worried there. Dear me.
Joe Linton will play. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, the big question is whether Willock's going to be fit, and I don't think Willock will be fit to start. So I expect the same back five that you described there. I expect Longstaff, Bruno, and Joe Linton in midfield. Miggy, Wilson, and I'm going to throw a curveball in this here. I'm going to say Isak instead of anyone else wide. That's who I would go for. The reason I've gone for that is I think that it's an opportunity to try something different that they're not going to be expecting. I think that Isak playing on the left-hand side can exploit the space. I know that whether it was ASM or him that you were playing wide, it would be exactly the same. But I think that with Dan Burn sitting behind, I think that Dan Burn would feel a little bit more comfortable with Isak rather than ASM. And I think that Isak running at them gives you a quicker through ball to the likes of Wilson than you would get from ASM. So, and it's not a criticism of ASM, but ASM could be your impact player that you bring off on over 60, 65. Alternately, you go with ASM playing wide. As I say, I still think Willock won't be in the starting lineup. But I'm glad it's not my decision. I think it's a difficult decision for the manager, but I think it's the only difficult decision he has if he knows that Willock's not fit is whether he plays ASM as a starter or whether he brings him in as an impact player, and then where does he fit in a 60-odd million pound footballer in Isak?
Okay. Big decisions to make, and like we always say, Mitch, at least it's not us having to make them. That's what Eddie gets paid the bucks for.
And nice choices. I mean, it hinges on Willock's availability, I think.
Yeah.
And I think Willock's injury was worse than the club have let on from stuff I've heard, and that he'd be lucky to make the Man City game. But let's see. ASM gave Eddie Howe something to think about with his second half performance against Liverpool, and that's not a bad thing. But he tends to go with what he knows. If Willock's available, we know what the starting lineup will be. But if Willock isn't available, it's do you bring Bruno in and shuffle a few around, or do you stick with the ASM? And if it's the ASM that produced what he did in the second half against Liverpool, that'll ask some interesting questions of an area where I don't think Man United are particularly strong.
Yeah.
So, like I say, I think if Willock's available, I know what the team will be. I think we all know what the team will be. And that's, I find it interesting. Nobody's talked much about Willock that I've seen this week.
Yeah.
And so, is that our little bit of codology is not to talk rather than to talk? We're not letting anything away. And so, personally, I'd like to see Willock fit. I think he deserves the starting lineup in a final. He's ran himself into the ground this season. He's probably an inch and a half shorter than he was when he started the season. So, I think he deserves it. But I just genuinely have doubts about his fitness. But whichever 11 take that pitch, they're guaranteed 100% support from the stands. And I think that's all that matters.
Good evening, Joe.
Sorry, Steve. Can I come back on Steve Hastie's
Go on.
point? It's a good point, because if there's one thing that Manchester United won't like, they've got two fullbacks that lack pace. And the one thing Isak's got in spades is pace. So I can see the logic of what Steve said.
Yeah. Okay. Joe, good evening.
Evening, gentlemen. Are you well?
Joe.
Good to see you, mate. We just want to know what starting lineups that you would pick. So, have you got a team in mind? What do you think you'll do?
I think just tuning in there, just as Mitch was finishing, I think Mitch is right. I think if Joe Willock plays, it'll be the side that we've seen for the majority of this season. The interesting point on there for me is, what do you do with Joe Linton? Because Bruno's going to come back in, let's be honest. So, and Sean Longstaff will play, we know that. But what do you do with Willock, and what do you do with Joe Linton down that left-hand side?
Tell him to punt Fernandes up the arse as hard as he can and see what happens.
But for me, arguably Joe Linton's better in that middle three than he is in that forward three, if that's the best way of describing it. Although arguably Joe Willock, does the job in there as well. So that's the interesting dilemma for me. And I think it all centres around, is Joe Willock going to play or not? If Joe Willock doesn't play, I think you'll see the side, barring the goalkeeper, of course, that played against Liverpool. That's what I think is going to happen. And as for Callum Wilson, I don't know whether this is controversial or not. I don't mind a controversial statement, but I think Isak's got to play, and whether that's anything to do with the pace of the Manchester United back line, or Willock's form in general this season, which, let's be honest, Wilson's form, which, let's be honest, hasn't been overly tremendous, certainly in the past 2 months. I think Isak, you pay 60 million. He's a big player at a big price. And this is a bloody big game. So for me, he plays.
Massive decisions to be made. That's all part and parcel of Eddie's job, of course. So, we look forward to it. We'll see what happens. Okay, halfway through the show, time for the ads.
A big thanks to all our sponsors, starting with Skips and Bins, telephone 0800 25 45 25 3, email inquiries at skipsandbins.com, website skipsandbins.com. Easy contract free and pay-as-you-go waste collection. Thanks to Mr. Vicky's sauces, handmade in Cumbria. You can order them from mrvickys.co.uk. Email them at info@mrvickys.co.uk or call them on 01768 210 102. Why not try some new beers at Blowhole Brewery? You can find them at blowholebrewery.co.uk. Thanks also to United Group Travel, UK Coach Holidays based in Morpeth. Telephone 01670 362 460 or mobile 07957 141 654. Graham, your driver, Beverly answering your calls and looking after you on your tour. Thanks also to 3 Properties. They specialise in sourcing investment properties for their clients who are looking to invest in the North East. They offer a full in-house service from sourcing the deals to managing the properties for you. They've done over 100 plus deals in the last 12 months for clients all over the UK. Give the guys a follow on Instagram, matty.patter_northeast property and phil.reed_northeast property, or email phil@3property.co.uk if you're interested in getting a good property deal. Thanks to qtechshop.co.uk, the makers of pool tables and snooker tables in Wallsend and Newcastle, and the guys who run our website, NUFCmatters.com. Thanks to Media Arts for all the videos. If you want to subscribe to the channel, hit the subscribe button underneath this video today. Hit the thumb up to like the video and click share to your social media. If you're out and about, you can catch us as a podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, and the rest. If you want to join the channel, click join and you'll find out our membership packages down there. Very easy to do. Or if you want to become a cult member, £25 a month, go to NUFCmatters.com and look for membership pack, or put your smartphone over the QR code and it will take you straight there. Anyone who subscribes to the channel will get a free car sticker. To get your car sticker, simply email john@nufcmatters.com. Got a few events coming up over the next few weeks. Steve Howie, Friday the 24th of February at the Tyneside Irish Centre. Tickets available for £29 on voucher. An evening with Nobby Solano, Saturday the 25th of March. Tickets £15. Book at nufcmatters.com. Nobby Solano is also at Felling Cricket Club on Good Friday the 7th of April at 4 o'clock. Tickets are £10 and available behind the bar. And an evening with Frank Clark and John Gibson, Thursday the 20th of April. That's at the Tyneside Irish Centre. Tickets are £15. Book now at nufcmatters.com. We've also got a vast array of t-shirts available at the website. If you want your special Wembley t-shirt, you can go to nufcmatters.com and get one now while stocks last.
Now he's slightly hungover, but here he is. Melly Barnes. Good evening, Melly. Yeah, he's waving there. He's frozen a bit. Where are you? Can we hear you? Oh, there you are. I can hear you. Your picture's frozen. Oh, there we go. That's better. Where are you? Are you on your way to Wembley already? Can you hear us, Melly?
It's in the car park. It's in Mary's Lighthouse by the looks of it.
I can see his turkey teeth. He's saying out.
Fun. What's that like?
That's a bit better, mate. That's it. How are you doing? Where
Got better. I'm sorry about that,
You're not at Wembley now,
I'm okay. How are you? No, not yet,
you've had
mate.
such a trophy drought, 6 years. That you, of course, you'll probably be desperate to be there, like.
Well, you know, let's not get all excited. It's still the Carabao Cup. It's not the FA Cup, you know.
So anyway, Melly, we've had our say about the ETH press conference today. Eric Ten Hag, he's playing he's trying to play a few games, and he's saying Newcastle's annoying. They're a very annoying team, and he's also saying that Rashford could miss the final. I'm telling you now, we don't believe that. We think Rashford's fine, and we also think he's trying a little bit of mind games here. He's trying to get the referee on side before the game kicks off on Sunday.
Well, I think possibly because, you know, like you'll all think the same. You'll think that Man United get all the decisions. I've seen the post where the referee being a Man U fan, that was cloned. That's not true. And if you actually look at the stats, I don't even think he's refereed Newcastle. So if he's any kind of fan, he's Newcastle. But well, I always seem to get penalties gone against it. I remember doing some loan for a referee, and he's said to him, "Look, there's two prices, right? There's one price. If you give Man United a penalty in the dying embers, or you know," and I laughed, and he went, "Do you not think you get enough penalties?" So it's definitely talked about in the referee circle, you know. So I don't think you got no to worry about there. Mind games from Ten Hag, mate. He's probably the most honest manager I've ever seen in my life. He's straight down the line. Rashford, I think, will play. But maybe he is playing mind games. It's his first possible trophy, you know, in his first season. So maybe he's kept it to the final. But gone off past experience, the man's like he's very professional. He's very honest.
Yeah, okay. I mean, the photograph with Alex Ferguson as well. Again, you know, a good bit of PR, I guess. It's a wind up really for us. Is there any players in Newcastle's team you're concerned about? Bruno's back for us. It's a big player. Look, we're not kidding ourselves. You know, we haven't got the same kind of squad as Manchester United, Man City, Liverpool, whatever. But from our perspective, you know, we've got a decent team, and the league doesn't lie. You know, we're not in the greatest of form going into the game. However, we've only lost one game, and we've only lost to one team in the Premier League. Only Liverpool could do the double, and they've done the double over of us. So we look as if we're going in on a bit of a downward spiral. Manchester United look as if they're going in on top of the world. Is there a player in Newcastle's team that you particularly go, oh, you know, I hope he has an off day?
Aye, well, you know, we're lucky that Bruno got banned, really, because he's your everything, isn't he? And he's coming back after being missing for a few games, so his match fitness isn't going to be there. So I'm hoping he isn't on top form. Joe Linton and all, I said when he was playing up front for you, I said, there's definitely a player in him. And me fitter, Doyler, he was, what are you talking about? I says, he's a player, him, mate. He is a player. And if he performs on the day, I think you've got, look, we're both there on merit, right? We both had a terrible season last season, and I don't have your fifth now, and we're third, but we're both there on merit. The league doesn't lie. So it's 90 minutes, hopefully. I hope it doesn't go into penalties and somebody loses on penalties, that's for sure. I just hope it's a cracker. I hope both teams turn out and we get a 4-3 or something, you know, and it's not a runaway for either team. But like you say, Newcastle's hit a little bit of a bad run at the wrong time, and United's hit a good run. And I gone back to what you say there about the depths and squads. But Steve, you know, if you gone back 6 weeks, Ten Hag has got lesser players playing. You know, like if need disrespect here, but if one of your players get injured, like Bruno, you suspended, it affects them massively. They haven't got the players to bring on to play the system that they play. Whereas Man United, they've all just clubbed in since Ronaldo's gone. They're one unit. There's more unity there. And if we bring McTominay on now, he might not be the best, but he knows the game that he's got to play. And it's showing him our performances, you know.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. I knew as soon as you said United, people would go, he's calling us United. We've been discussing that today already. Newcastle were Newcastle United, obviously before Manchester United. What do you make of all that? Because Sky call it Newcastle versus Manchester United. That's wrong. We're Newcastle United.
Well, you're Newcastle United 100%, but you're the only club in Newcastle. Whereas Manchester's got two. If they put Newcastle United v Manchester, it could be Manchester United or City. I wouldn't look too far into that. Everybody knows you're United. You know, on and off the pitch. You know, you're probably the most united club in Britain at the minute. You know, it's fantastic to see how you've all come together. And, you know, I like seeing it. I'm not going to lie. I do like seeing it. But I wouldn't look too far into that. Like, it's just, you know, it's because of City. We've got the noisy neighbours, you know, who've also got Manchester before the surname.
That's a fair point.
You don't go for what the Man City fans say, which is it should be City and shitty.
I cannot wait until Erling Haaland's playing against Ashton.
Okay, I know you're busy tonight, mate. So I appreciate you coming on. Let's get a quick prediction off you, mate.
I'm gonna go on for 3-1.
Okay, and Rashford.
I think Newcastle are gonna come out all guns blazing in the first 20 minutes, get the crowd up, but then Man United will do what they always do. And they'll slow the game down, and they'll get into the game, and there'll be ones each half time, and then the second half I think will come out, and we'll just have the legs. Newcastle doesn't seem to have it for 90 minutes at the minute, whereas United do. You know, they could play for 180 minutes at the minute.
You played the worst first half I think anybody's ever seen on Thursday night.
That's why I said you'll come out like you always do, and you'll attack, you'll get your goal, but then we'll put our foot on the game. You've got to remember, right? You know, we've got, and I use a lot, but we've got Casemiro and Fred, right? Whereas you've got Joe Linton and Bruno, the good players, but psychologically, our players keep your players out of the Brazil squad. So they'll have that kind of they'll be looking up to them kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. That's a Brazil squad that didn't even make the quarter final. Aye.
But still,
I'll
look,
tell you
you know,
something.
like
I tell you something, Joe Linton and Bruno are a lot better than your Bruno and Fred. Like a lot better, not a bit better, a lot better.
you reckon?
Without doubt, Davey wouldn't have said that.
The
You don't
midfield,
look
the
at
midfield's
stats.
where the game's going to be won and lost, lads. The
Not even
midfield's going to be the
close.
game. That's where it's going to be won and lost.
You need to look at some stats, man. Bruno gives the ball away
I
a
saw
hell
when
of a
you
lot
played
now.
Euro- I saw
But
when you played Euro the way you couldn't get near them. At
Yeah?
Old Trafford. When you played your Old Trafford, they couldn't get near them. But let's see what happens.
like I said 6 weeks ago, we were different United.
Why,
Look at you smiling now. You.
Because we weren't United.
Just a little talk about all the togetherness of your side. At the start of the season, when I watched you play Brentford, I saw a team that was smashed to pieces. And you're saying you put it all down to Ronaldo. So are you still
100%.
You did a 10 fell apart because of Ronaldo. He was to blame for all them. I tell you honestly, if you got togetherness, you want to come and see this side, Newcastle. It's the most together side.
I'll tell you what happened at the beginning of the season. Ten Hag took over, and he was basically told, "This is your 11." So he played what they thought was their first 11: Maguire, Lindelof, and then he's basically said to them, "Look, let us do it my way, and I'll show you." He's changed it. He dropped Maguire. He brought in like Martinez and Varane, and he got them playing. And ever since then, we've been a totally different team. He showed them at the beginning of the season, look, this is you're always going to get the same results if you keep doing the same things. It's like England, man. Maguire gets chosen for England. Harry Kane, excellent striker, but they're getting chosen because of their name. We've got young'uns in this country that could have went to the World Cup and, scored a lot more goals than what we did. We've got the best attacking team we've ever had, man. I'm going back to what I'm saying at the beginning.
You're the most unentitled.
You're going to get the same results if you keep doing the same stuff. You've got to change.
You're the most entitled fans in football, and I tell you what, it's great to watch you rebuild again and blame it all on one player, probably one of the best players in the world. But good on you. Good luck on Sunday.
No, look, you're saying blaming on one of the best goalkeepers in the world, one of the best players in the world. Yes, he was the best player in the world, but he's 37, 38-year-old. And he's still got that aura around him, right?
George has gone to sleep.
Why didn't you just leave him where he was then, instead of abusing him?
Shut up. You know what it is? Do you think Man United would have bought Ronaldo if he wasn't going to Man City?
Tell you what, honestly, the most entitled fans in football, Man United, they just think they've got a right just to be the best. I tell you what, I can't wait.
Absolutely not. You're joking. I've sat through 10-year Louis van Gaal passing it back to the car park.
58 years we've won now, but I tell you what, we don't drop our team and cry just to get beat off Brentford. I tell you what
the FA Cup under Van Gaal.
Are you joking? Are you joking?
You won the FA Cup under him.
Honestly.
Who?
Van Gaal. The league, a lot of you. I tell you what, we put your bait up on Sunday. I tell you, and if we don't,
Go on, Pato.
if you don't do it next year, we'll batter you next year.
You know what it is?
You just have a divine right to stop people's takeovers and then come along and say who you should have, who you shouldn't have, and you get probably the second best player in the world, and you ridicule and abuse him. You're embarrassing to your own player, to a legend of your own club. Honestly,
we never ridiculed and abused him until he came out and abused us. Why do that to somebody that's straight you absolutely brilliantly?
Embarrassed and ridiculed. You've just admitted you're embarrassed and ridiculed him. How embarrassing, honestly. God Almighty, ridicule.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. I didn't say that. I said we've been a different team since Ronaldo left.
Well,
and have we not? Is the proof not in the pudding? Is the proof not in the pudding?
He
went to Juventus.
You did it. God Almighty. God,
well, I tell you what, Melly, I thoroughly enjoyed that. And listen,
where are you from anyway, Keith?
Where I'm from, Durham, and I love the place.
Why not red and white?
What do you mean red and white? What do you mean red and white? Newcastle's closer to Sunderland than I live, pal.
Yeah, put it in your son now.
So what you're doing up there? Why are you supporting Man United? Because they were a good team in the 70s.
Yeah.
So why
you know why I support Man United? Because an old man put his arm around us when I was 8-year-old and took us to Man United.
Where you live and support Man United?
I tell you what, Melly is probably one of the most dedicated Manchester United fans I know from.
Good on him. Good on him.
He goes home and away,
On
and
Newcastle, 'cause we
he
follow
never
Smash.
misses a game. He never
Yeah.
misses a game. So listen, Melly, I've got your prediction
Aye.
3-1. I'm going to get you back on next
See you
week.
later, Melly.
You know, once
See that,
we-
Keith.
it'll
Yeah,
probably have to be rearranged for later in the week because we've got a trophy parade to sort out. So I look forward to getting
Hey,
you on next week after that.
I'm deleting Facebook of these those. Trust me.
Melly, take care, brother. Thanks very
And
much.
all
for coming
yous.
on.
Nice to
All
talk
right.
to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Enjoy
See
your
you
day.
later.
Melly.
Great to have Melly on. He's a good sport. I've seen a few people say, "Why have you got him on?" Because he's been on the show before, and it's nice to get a Manchester United perspective. And it was
Steve.
great to see Keith having a go.
Steve, I tell you, always gone through my mind there what I said at the start about go and watch the make-up about Philadelphia Eagles last weekend.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. It was brilliant.
Well,
Brilliant stuff.
and
You
I
don't
wasn't,
have-
Steve, I wasn't sleeping. I was cringing.
I thought you were going to sleep.
No, I was cringing.
All right,
Yeah,
Keith.
This is so entitled. They just think that they have like he's just said there. He said we only had a go at Ronaldo when he did X, Y, and Z. That's like saying when Kagan come back the second time, we'd have a pop at Kagan. You never bring people back of that ilk and criticise them because you know they're a great part of your club. And like what Ronaldo did for Man United was awesome. But have a go at him. And he said on there, the lad said, he says, we only had a go at him when he did this, this, and this. I mean, they shouldn't have bothered bringing him back. But the way they treated him was awful. Now it's a scapegoat for why they were shit.
Fantastic stuff. And the reason that Keith's come on is this. And look at these little words underneath his name there. I love dogs. This was sent in first by Stephen Kennedy. See, they're making special toilets for Sir Keith now in James's Park. Bloody favouritism. Into the lookalikes then. Stephen sent this as well. A very young Steve Hasty when he worked as a rent boy on Old Compton Street. I don't think that. Have you seen Steve there?
He's dog.
Looking well. He's looking well.
This one, Steve Hasty, too cool for school lookalike. And this one from Steve Wilkinson. Lookalike for Friday. Steve actually doing a Steve Wilkinson. That's brilliant, that one. Thanks for that, Steve. This one from Jacob. Happy National Love Your Pet Day, Mrs. Heaton. Hope she loves you. Lovely. And this one. Even Man U have their own version of Steve Hasty. Peter Guy got his glad rags on, ready for his trip to Wembley, Steve Hasty.
It's got a necklace on.
It has, aye. And this one, he's getting ready for the big game. There is Steve himself. And this one, Steve Hasty is shooting Hussein Bucket. And Steve Hasty celebrating his new haircut.
God almighty.
New haircut getting a mention there. Michael said this one, just bumped into Steve Hasty and Mitch with full-grown beard.
That was Andre.
It looks a bit like Andre, yeah. It does. And this one from Wayne Bennett, looking good, Mr. Hasty. I love it when there's a new dog. One we haven't seen before. Steve Hasty doing a sterling job in the food bank from Tom. Tom's in name supplying the dog photograph. This one from Rita. I don't know what on earth that is on the right, but it does look like Steve Hasty.
I know you're going to say on the left.
Ian Edgar. Look at the teeth. Got turkey teeth. Got teeth like Melly, the Manchester United fan.
False teeth.
Oh, God. Des, thanks for these. Some hasty guinea pigs. I zoomed in on them for you, Keith. There you go. Not sure which. That one's probably looking more like Steve than this one, to be fair. That one's a bit not quite like Steve. That one's like Steve in the Wind. And then I just got 3 random sent in from Rita.
What on earth? What is it?
I think it's a GNU, isn't it?
Okay.
It looks like it's got a pipe in its mouth or something to get beer in.
Someone said that. I think he has to look alike.
Well, that was Rita. Rita sent this as well. And this one. After the haircut. So thanks for that, Rita. On to the other one. Steve Wilkinson off the Mupp and the man from the Muppets.
Definitely.
This one as well.
Away.
Very, very like you, that
You
one.
know, the pump your jaws up, Joe.
And this one.
Yeah.
Absolute model.
And I think this is probably the best one. George there. didn't win any prizes, that one. This one from Jacob. Why buy a teddy bear when you can buy a Benny Bear? I had this one a few times, but yeah, Brian Cranston, Walter White, thanks Jacob. And I had that one as well sent in from Andy Anderson. He says, I had to take a double look. He was doing the Super Bowl advert, wasn't he? This one from Paul Whitfield. Very, very good likeness, that, by the way. Ben again from Jacob. Here is Ben when he had a part in Planet of the Apes. A couple more Hasty chucked in. Mr. Hasty, roosting in London, and Mr. H is a gem. He's just tilting his head. Have a good look at that one. And these two from Tim as well. Mr. Hasty, ready for Wembley? I got this one as well. I really miss Prince, so I drew a moustache on Rihanna. Scary, that. And this one from Rita as well. Brian Johnson and Kevin Keegan.
Yeah.
That's good, that.
This one, the photograph that we're talking about with Ten Hag and Alex Ferguson. Have I got a second series? Ought to be a fly in the wall during this chat. Lookalike. I'm not sure who the lookalike was supposed to be, though. Maybe Steve Hasty, maybe me. I'm not sure. Maybe me meeting Steve Hasty. Last two. This one. Oh my God, he's back. But Neil Heinsohn, it was the return of the Geordie dancer. Is that Keith Patterson rocking out the moves with him?
Good dancer. Good dancer, that. Nice haircut.
The winner this week was from Barry Isaac and Richard Blackwood. Very good, mate. Very good. Keep them coming in. Plenty dogs. Plenty dogs for Steve. Steve, you can come out now. Okay, time to look ahead to the game on Sunday, and as always, we have Toon Stato giving us a little look ahead to what we can expect.
Hi all, the big weekend, the big game is finally coming. Newcastle United playing their 16th major cup final in all competitions. We have won 7, 6 in the FA Cup, 1 in the Fairs Cup. We have lost 8 so far, 7 in the FA Cup, 1 in the League Cup. It's only our second final in the League Cup since the establishment of this competition in England in 1960. Back in 1976, losing to Man City by 2-1 at Wembley. Alan Goling scoring for Newcastle is still the last player to score for Newcastle at a big final. Loris Karius will be in goal for us. He played 49 games for Liverpool, keeping 22 clean sheets, which makes him the second best ratio for clean sheet in the entire history of Liverpool, only after Ray Clemens. When it comes to our opponent, Manchester United, is their 10th final in the League Cup. They have won 5, they have lost 4. Let's hope that they become 5-5 after Sunday. On Sunday, the referee is David Coote. He refereed 3 games last season. They were all controversial, losing 2-0 at Villa, drawing 1-1 at Brighton, and losing 1-0 at Chelsea. Funnily enough, he showed a yellow card in all of these games to Jacob Murphy. Away the lads, the tension is building. I'll be in London as well, hopefully with a ticket. Away the lads, and let's hope we write some history on Sunday.
Great stuff, Andre. Thanks for your contribution. As always, look forward to seeing you on Sunday. It was good to hear from you today, and glad you've got a ticket for the game. Okay, time for Toon Tipster. There we go. I thought I'd do something a bit different for you, Joe, this week.
Thank you, mate. I enjoyed that. Thank you. Pato,
I thought you would.
will you look away at some of Pato? You're putting me off. Right, here we go then. 2 more sleeps. It's 2 more sleeps till the biggest League Cup game for decades happens. I am, of course, talking about the mighty Glasgow Rangers taking on Celtic at Ibrox on Sunday. Should be an absolute cracker. I'm joking, of course. We're all obviously looking forward to Sunday's huge game in London, where Tottenham are favourites to beat the beleaguered Chelsea. Good luck, Potter. In other news down there in the smoke, Manchester United remain favourites to win the Carabao Cup against Amanda's Mags. Manchester are 6-5 to win in 90 minutes, 10-1 to win in extra time, and 9-1 to win on penalties, whilst United are 5-2 to win in 90, 14-1 to win in extra time, and 10-1 if you think we'll win from the penalty spot. The draw after 90 minutes remains just over 2-1. Both teams to score is just under evens, and over 2.5 goals in the game is just over evens. So goals are fancied. Here we go then. 1-0 Newcastle, 9-1. 2-0 Newcastle, 16-1. 2-1 Newcastle, 11-1. And the Wembley penman, can you imagine that, is 28-1. 0-0, 8-1, and ones each, 5-1. I'm not going to comment on the prices for the other lot, because if you think they'll win, then NUFC matters really isn't for you. 2 forwards with fitness doubts are favourites to score any time, with Rashford at 11-8 and Wilson at 12-5. Brilliantly though, Isaac comes in next before Weghorst, and my absolute dream goal scorer of Joe Linton is 4-1, which I'm all over, by the way. I also fancy Big Sven to break his duck in our biggest game for years, and that's 14-1. And for those who fancy some extra value, my mate Clark from Twitter reckons that Kieran Trippier will score from outside the box. And if you fancy that, you can have 28-1. 7-4 if you think there'll be a penalty conceded within the 90 minutes. And 12-1 if you think there'll be a Wembley own goal. So over to you, Slabhead. Do your best, son. Don't forget, it's the final Super 6 of the month this weekend. William Walker, no relation, is ahead on 50 points, just in front of me on 44. So I really hope this weekend your computer or your phone blows up, William. Good luck, mate. And finally, if Lenny's watching, tell me, Ma, I won't be home for tea on Saturday. Nothing to do with a match, just because of cooking shite. Take it easy, everyone. Only bet what you can afford. Thank you.
Can you clear something up every week? Joe says the penman. What exactly is the score? Jacob, it's Stu Penman who does Wednesdays and Sundays, and it's a 3-1, mate. It's a 3-1. That's what it is. Michael says, great, Joe. That's got to shoot off. Take care. Let's hope we're all nursing a joyful hangover on Monday. I think we will be anyway, mate, regardless of the result. Okay, we are doing a shorter show tonight, so I'm going to go to Keith and ask him what he thinks his team's going to be, because he did join us later and he didn't get his opportunity. So what's your team going to be for Sunday, mate? How, what do you think we'll start off with?
Same back four, Carrius in goal. Same back four as normal. Midfield, Joe Linton, Longstaff, and Bruno. St Maxim left, Miggy right. Wilson in the middle.
Okay, good stuff. Got a couple of other things to get through as always. I've got to load a couple of things onto the screen, but we'll have Elliot Slesser's joke of the week first. A man walks up to a woman in a nightclub and says, "Hi, the name's Bond." She says, "Don't tell me your first name's James." "No," he replies, "it's uni. I'm here to fill your crack."
Oh dear me. Oh dear me.
Thanks, Elliot.
The George Mitchell.
And letting that one sink in for those of you who didn't quite get it, we'll have the DM. Andre was over last week with a what appeared to be like the Bulgarian mafia. They were all about 6'5" and built like actual brick outside toilets. But a great bunch of lads. Here he is with Steve Watson and a couple of the lads. And amazingly, they were sitting behind me at the match as well, which was great. And there they are with Rob Lee. So thank you for that, Andre. I'm not going to play the music a second time, folks. You put your fingers in your ears because I don't want to take up too much more time. A big happy birthday from all of us tonight as well to Mrs. Q-Tech, who has reached the right old age or young old age of 50. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mrs.
Hope you have a great night, and hope John has spoilt you rotten. Don't forget at Wembley as well, clap for Gordon on the 14th minute, Justice for Gordon. It's a big campaign which we supported with our own video, which is available on our channel. I'm not going to play that tonight now, but we had a lot of Newcastle United's former players showing the support to stamp out knife crime. Chronicle have run a fantastic campaign this week as well, but just make sure you take time on the 14th minute to clap for Gordon, please. Okay, I'm going to go around the houses now, George, and get a prediction for the game. So, couple of more sleeps, George, tonight and tomorrow, and then the big game arrives on Sunday. Want to know what your prediction is, please?
What it was from the beginning of the week, 2-0 to Newcastle United. Can I just say as well, you're saying that people didn't get that last joke. If they didn't get that last joke, what bloody planet they've been living on?
You never know, mate. You never know.
Who's filled a few cracks.
I've got a feeling I've made a mistake. It probably has been on before. Paul Charlton saying it's been on before, but it actually got more last second time round. So they always say do it in threes. It might be on again next week. Mitch, have you got the dice?
No, I haven't got the dice. But Sooty's got the dice.
Hey!
Hey!
Come on then, Sooty.
Oh, he's gone and rolled a penman.
3-1.
Oh, there you go.
Oh God, I just genuinely can't believe that. That would be dream world. You've gone with a dice, Mitch. What's your prediction, though?
1-0. We're gonna grind it out.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna do and show some of the steel that we've shown all season, and it's about time my form came round a little bit, and this is the perfect stage for it to happen.
Yeah.
There's a lot of. I think there's a lot of strands of the sort of stories of the season are coming together for this weekend, and it just feels right.
Yeah, I would agree with you, mate. I've gone 1-0 as well. I definitely think a 1-0 win for Newcastle. I think it's going to be a lot tighter than people think. But yeah, I'm going 1-0. Keith?
I went to a fortune teller this week to find out what was going to happen in there. I caught her on the wrong week. I got my palm read for now. Never mind. So... so I spoke to fortune teller and she sat us down and she said that the game's going to be tightly contested and Newcastle's going to win 2-1 after extra time. And all that, I said, I tried to get scorers out, and the only thing she said is someone called Miggy will score. So 2-1 after extra time, and Miggy will score.
Okay, over to you, Joe.
I did just quickly. I did find out what John showed me what he got there last for a birthday. That's what he got. Available on a good website near you. I think. Listen, Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 2, Joe Linton 2. That'll do, mate.
Okay, Steve.
After what Sooty's just thrown up, I'm going to have to go for 3-1, aren't I? First time I've gone for a penman for a while, so I'm going to go for that. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I think tactically, it depends which manager gets it right, and I think that Eddie Howe tactically will get it right. I think that Ten Hag still doesn't know what his best team is. He's still got too many people to choose from. He's still got too many players that are out of sorts at times. And he's also got a lot more petulant players in his team than we have. So I think all the omens are there for us. I'm looking forward to the game. And as I say, I'm going to go for Penman 3-1.
All right, Gary Milligan squeezes a question in. George, he just says, on Wednesday's show, George mentioned a pitch on Hunter's Moor. It wasn't Maccabee, was it? Maccabee?
It was next to the Maccabee pitch. Yes, it was. That he's in the right area. Yeah.
It's where the Central Motorway is now, wasn't it, George?
Yeah,
When-
that's right. Hunters
on that side.
Moor, they used to call
Yeah,
it, but
yeah.
it was the Maccabee pitch was the same place. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great stuff. Finishing off, as Vince has put in the chat, I am here and my lift is here. Thank you, Vince. We're going to go with Julie's favourite. I know she's on her way to the do tonight, so she probably won't see it until she watches catch up, but it is Troll of the Week. Yay! Blocked. All right, I'm back tomorrow, 10:30 in the morning with Ben Jacobs to look ahead to the cup final with him. But from now, thanks to George, thanks to Mitch, thanks to Keith, thanks to Joe, thanks to Steve. Thanks to Andre, thanks to, you've cut us off in mid-flow there, thanks to Scunny Mag, and thanks to Melly, the Manchester United fan, and thanks to Az in the chat, the Manchester United fan, who's had a little bit of banter, shall we say. Go on, George.
Just to wish you all a great weekend. I'm green with envy. Have a fantastic weekend and a successful weekend so we can all cheer the lads home. So enjoy it, lads.
George, you enjoy it at home, mate. It's a pity you're not down there with us, mate, but hopefully we'll be bringing the cup back home for you.
Thank you. Great.
Take care, everybody. Good night. God bless. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Don't get locked up. Bye. Happy birthday, Mrs. Q.